For test section 14130, Alabama ID number 6062. This is selected for design cell 6B-36 rather than 34 because we found that a section of this job had a different typical section which was somewhat heavier, had about 2.5 inches more of asphalt concrete than the one identified in the candidate project sheets. Therefore, we went ahead and selected this, but for a different cell, which as of yet didn't have any test sections in it. This is going to receive around 1.5 inches to 2 inches of overlay, which will include a leveling course. This is going to happen this summer. We're on Alabama Highway 186. We are right in the midst of the Tuskegee National Forest, over just to the south of Auburn, Alabama, and a little bit to the northeast of Tuskegee, Alabama. I'm going to stop it here and go down and pick up the drilling operation and show what kind of thicknesses we're getting out of this hole, and then we'll move forward with the walking distress survey and a few more comments about this test section. Operation. Thought I would just pick up and show some of the lay of the land around here. Some of it you can't see very well from where I'm standing, and others you can see quite well. I'm looking over towards the beginning of the test section. I'm standing about 60 feet or so upstream of it. Looking on down at the test section, you see that we're in a right curve. We picked that so we'd have our surface water draining off to the outside edge. We've got one lane in each direction, as you can see. There's our van that we're traveling in. There's our drilling operation. You see Stan Armstrong over there. Camouflage jacket on. Now looking back upstream of the test section. Right in this area here, we may be in a transition where we're doing the drilling, so I'm really going to be more interested in seeing what we get out of the second hole than this one, if it is quite different. I think we're far enough ahead, we're about 100 feet beyond where the transition should be as far as where the test section actually begins, but where we are drilling right now, it's going to be interesting to see what comes out. We only had a short length of this project that we could really consider for use as a test section, and due to the terrain, that got shortened down to really only one potential test section out here, and that's where we're at. We're primarily in a cut, but as you can see looking at the terrain, and I'll show that a little bit more later on, it's awfully difficult to tell just what you're in at any given location except on the center line itself from the plans. Looking down the hole right here, measured around 8 1/4 or 8 3/4 inches of asphalt concrete here, which came out of the hole. Unable to determine the thickness of the base or subbase material underneath that. I think this proves the point that I was making before in describing this test section, in that we are probably right in here in the transition area, because we should have a bit more asphalt than this. It'll be interesting to observe the thicknesses which come out of the next hole to see if it's up in the range of around 10 inches or so for the asphalt concrete. Originally characterized as a sandy clay, and that's an accurate characterization from my viewpoint. It does have some plasticity to it, sticks together as you can see, and it is somewhat damp. It's not what I would call moist. Beginning of the test section, and as we go through you'll see some things, and you'll see what it is when you talk about good or bad in terms of condition being a relative thing, because we do have quite a bit of distress in this pavement. In general, the rutting appears to be typically around 4/10 of an inch, probably going up to close to 3/4 inches in some places, but in almost all cases less than 1/2 inch. The